First, a brief summary of the cultural context. Social. The film follows dominant representations of gender that have come to be well known in both Hitchcock's work and the general slasher genre. In The Birds 1963, Melanie Daniels' playful flirting brings down a herd of birds, and Mitch's alive mother is overbearing on Mitch's love life and also brings down a herd of ravenous birds. In Psycho, Marion Crane's playful stealing brings down a herd of knives, and as we will see later, Norman's dead mother is overbearing on Norman and also results in Norman bringing down the knives. These movies contribute to the perception that mischievous women get what they deserve and that men behave wrongly because of deceitful women. During this time, American society had become more secular, which shifted the locus of horror. As Robert Clay describes in Cinema Ideology Criticism Revealed, the progressive genre, the strategic importance of Psycho is in revealing the locus of horror as specifically familial. This new form of horror deeply unnerved the audience, making it highly successful. Institutional. At the time Psycho was made, movies typically followed the motion picture production code, which was seen by Hitchcock and others as very restrictive. Psycho, as an independently funded film, deliberately aims to challenge the code. The relationship between Norman and his mother in this scene suggests some form of sexual perversion and challenges the classic institutions of marriage dominant in the 1960s. Now let's get to the analysis. The exploration of Mrs. Bates' room is designed to increase tension and create more enigma. From this wide establishing shot, we can see the mise-en-scene contains a dark mahogany wood, a satin Latin dressing table, a marble fireplace, and a chandelier, etc. Overall, this creates a tone of great extravagance, suggesting Mrs. Bates was a domineering person. The room is also filled with various statues, like the statue behind Leela and the hand mold. Here, light from the right side creates shadows of the statues and creates a sinister atmosphere. And here, a fast-paced zoom into close-up, followed by Leela's gasp, amplifies the danger. Together, this iconography foreshadows that, like the statues, the mother is trapped. And finally, mirrors. If there's one thing that's been prominent in Psycho, it's the use of mirrors to signify deception and an unawareness of oneself. One interpretation of the two mirrors is that Leela is taken back by her image, showing her self-awareness, a characteristic that allows her to be the final girl. My personal analysis is that two mirrors equals double deception.
I can handle a sick old woman.
Leela is being deceived into thinking Mrs. Bates is not a murderous lunatic, and we are being deceived in thinking Mrs. Bates is a murderous lunatic. We then cut to Sam and Norman. Sam, who stands more upright and occupies more of the frame, appears to be the dominant one. This is followed with his dialogue.
I think if you saw a chance to get out from under, you'd unload this place.
He acts self-assured because he believes in the rational reasoning for Marion's death, which is premeditated crime for money. This makes the reveal all the more chilling, as the true reason is so irrational and unpredictable. We then cut to Leela in Norman's room. Hitchcock contrasts iconography of childhood, such as stuffed toys in a slept-in, child-sized bed, with suggestive iconography of pornography. The reaction shot of Leela as she reads a nondescript book while not spelling out porn certainly implies that something is wrong. Overall, this scene is designed to unsettle the audience, who begin to see how Norman, a grown man in a child's room, is perhaps mentally disturbed. Tension is built by flipping Norman's agency. Up to this point, Norman has been agitatedly tapping his fingers as Sam's accusations encircle him further, like an encircled bird. However, as he knocks Sam out, heavy, fast-paced strings turn up, and as Norman enters the house, he tilts his head like a bird of prey. In fact, it is now Leela who is trapped behind bars. The use of light in the final reveal is interesting. As the camera tracks Leela's movement closer to Mrs. Bates, a bright, practical hanging light hovers overhead, perhaps symbolizing how the truth is about to be revealed. Then, following the slow close-up reveal of Mrs. Bates, a close-up Leela screams and bats the light away, creating spinning shadows. Following my previous analysis, this suggests that though the truth has come out, she, like the audience, wishes to reject it. The final scene between Norman and Sam upsets the reader in two ways. Firstly, in terms of film elements, the return of the used previously comes to signify gruesome violence. Additionally, the practical swaying light creates shadows in the background, and the camera follows the action to focus in on the blade. Secondly, the juxtaposition between Sam and Norman, with Sam in a stronghold position with a silent grimace, and Norman with his weird contorted mouth and body, shows the differences between normalcy and normancy. Finally, the scene ends with the close-up of the mother, the swaying lights casting deep shadows on her face. Her open-mouthed smile at this scene unnerves the viewer, showing her power from beyond the grave and contributing to the aforementioned perception of deceitful women. Overall, Hitchcock successfully brings together film elements to introduce an antagonist that will psychologically unsettle the viewers for a long time after they have left the cinema.